I'll never fall in love with a lone player, but that's exactly what is happening at Preston North End. Kesler-Hayden, what a performance at Turf Moor. Ash, Etienne and Harvey are with me again to look back at what happened at Burnley and also look ahead, of course, to the next set of fixtures after the international break. Welcome to the quickest and most comprehensive review of all things Preston North End across the internet. Welcome. Preston on. We'll do that again. Jesus Christ. I didn't want that button. I wanted that one. Right. Never fall in love with a lone player. That's what they always say, but that's exactly what is happening down at Deepdale. Kesler-Hayden's performance at Burnley has everybody clamouring for him to be signed up immediately. We're going to talk about Ash, Etienne and Harvey and just how good that Preston performance was at Turf Moor. And we're looking ahead, of course, to the next set of games after the international break. Welcome to Where the North End Walk. Let's kick off straight away, shall we? Ash, were the Whites robbed?
Absolutely, yeah. I could see that was offside from behind a stanchion. It was. I don't quite get how they've managed to give that as offside. There's like 3 Burnley players playing him on, so we got robbed.
You're not having much luck with the referees, are we, Harvey, at the moment?
No, it just seems to be everyone against us. It's like, I think, especially when you think that the linesman for that is literally in a stationary position with the line. It's one of the worst decisions I've seen all season.
It certainly is one of the worst offsides I've seen all season. I'm not sure they're one of the worst decisions. Even our Burnley fan Etienne said, no, we've got away with one there. You agree, I presume, for Full House?
Yeah, 100%. There's no. I don't see how he's not giving it, considering he stood right on the line. It's a set piece. I don't know where he's seen offside there. Absolutely ridiculous decision.
Okay. We were joking last week about it being possible cricket scores and so on, so apologies certainly on our behalf for even making a joke of that. Hey, I watched a bit of that game. You were pretty good, Ash.
Well, I'd say at least for the first half, we were the better team. And the second half, it looked like we just contained them. We looked tired up front. I think Reece was knackered on about 60 minutes. We didn't ever look like we were going to lose.
Which is a good sign, isn't it? He's got you defensively sorted out because I think Harvey called it last week. This is this is not a back four that screams confidence. But Harvey, were you? Did you have to even eat your words?
Yeah, obviously, I think we always say credit wherever credit's due. But this seems to be the problem. We talk about how good the back line is, and then you play another game, and it's like they've never kicked a football in their lives. So. But yeah, I thought in terms of Burnley, like Ash said, we contained them really well, and I thought it was definitely an excellent defensive performance.
We said it right at the start, Etienne, about Kesler-Hayden, but Matthew says, "Dear Kane, don't ever leave us." From every Preston fan, Ian says, "Move heaven and earth to sign him permanently." And Lisa says, "Well deserved, lad, but please get rid of the orange boots." Okay, tell us just how good a performance that was.
Yeah, just a really complete performance. He wouldn't stop running down that wing. Whether we were attacking, whether we were defending, he was just showing 100% levels of commitment. We would have forgiven him for the tangerine boots had he scored that chance right at the end of the first half, I think, which, again, was really unfortunate because how he managed to get that anywhere near the crossbar, I won't know. Just a brilliant, and I was really excited when we signed him because I knew he was capable of games like this, and hopefully this cements his starting spot in the team now.
You think one of his teammates is going to put them boots in the bin, though, isn't it? You can't. You're not having this, Ash, are you? You can't have a Preston player wearing anything orange, can you?
No, it's not for me. And the first time I saw him on the pitch, that was the first thing I noticed was the boots. I think Alan Brown would have had them boots in the bin already, but Whiteman needs to step off.
Absolutely, he does. Okay. Okay. In terms of where the season now sits, then, Ash, are you a little bit more confident with that kind of Burnley performance that you can get out of this mess?
Yeah, to be honest, I was never that worried that we were going to be in trouble. And I think the appointment was a good one. It pretty much guarantees your safety when you get a manager like that. And I just hope he gets backed. And I hope I don't regret just saying guaranteed, but we'll see. But yeah, I'd be confident in us finishing probably. We might make ninth this year, who knows? But I'd say mid-table.
I'll eat your hat if you get ninth. Right. Okay, Harvey. Sorry for this. I'm really small. Good game, played really well at times. We should shoot at the table and play at that again. I worry we're relying on Rees for goals though, so we could be in trouble. Okay, we've talked about him a lot on this channel. Where do you stand on him at the moment? Is he a good player?
Obviously, he has his moments, doesn't he? But I think every Preston fan's established that he is just one of them players where you need him in a certain position to just like welly one, to be honest. And I think unless there's that, he doesn't really offer much. Me and Ash were having the conversation earlier that we obviously both like to see Stewart involved. I think given the options, there's no Keane. Osmaic is obviously out. And I think having a player like Stewart, I think if you use him, then it does, and he plays well, it gives competition for Reece, who I think at the minute, as the lead striker, definitely needs to step up.
Yeah, absolutely. Etienne, a word please on Ledson as well. 300 appearances in professional football. Obviously, this one was from the bench, I believe. But what's he given Preston?
He's given a lot of commitment, and especially during the lockdown season was probably his best campaign. And you know, you can say all these things about him being a liability and maybe not being up to the standard of the squad anymore, but in his time with us, he has been fantastic. He's been a great squad option, and you know, this season as well, you know, he can still provide a lot of things. We saw in the game against, please get this right, Fulham, I think, where he scored. He's still capable of some top performances. So you know, 300 games, it's no mean feat, is it? So fair play to the lad.
All right, we're going to be asking you about home atmospheres a second. What's the earliest that you've ever left a Preston North End game? Because we're talking how Sunderland fans missed Etienne, missed the Leeds goalkeeper's howler. Again, what have you ever missed leaving a game early? Drop that into the chat as well. Osmaic has had his ban now. We know officially it's going to be 8 games. Ash, is that fair given what happened?
You know what I think, but yeah, I guess overall,
I just regretted asking you. Then I should have gone to Harvey for that question. Go on.
No,
So finish.
I think it's fair. I think 8 games it feels terrible to us right now because we've got so little choice up front. But I think in the grand scheme of things, you can't really moan. I mean, he has took a bite at someone, so it's fair play, isn't it?
Fair enough. Okay, then. So home atmospheres then. So we've spoken to Leeds, Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday, Sunderland, Norwich, Hull. They're all saying this season feels a bit flat. The Championship hasn't got lifted off yet. And around stadiums across the country, there is just essentially some very poor atmospheres. We've spoken a lot about Deepdale and that's how quiet it's been. But Harvey, for you, is the atmosphere improving now under Heckingbottom or not?
I'd like to argue it, yeah. I think ever so slowly, but I think we've always just been one of them teams that's not got like the most amazing atmosphere. You know, I don't think you sell out the ground unless you see a big side from the Prem come, which obviously isn't ideal. But I do think you hear a bit more like optimism and see a bit more fans now that Hackey's coming. Yeah,
that's him.
Yeah, it's definitely better than it was under Lowe, but then again, I don't think that's a hard level to beat. I just think in my time as a Preston fan, it's never been amazing unless we're going on some mad run or we get in the promotion race like we were in League One. We never really sell out. We get about 16,000 on, and even then the ground still looks a bit empty. So we're really going to struggle to ever create an atmosphere unless we're right at the top of the league.
Okay. That leads me to Arsenal tickets then. Ash, you originally took the decision, I think, that not to buy, and then you relented. Did you think the club got it right with the pricing structure initially?
I mean, I don't know. I think maybe a bit cheaper, and they would have absolutely sold out quick time. And I think it would have been all Preston fans, but I think the slightly higher pricing attracts the day trippers, maybe. But me not buying a ticket lasted about 5 minutes after they were released.
You've all got your tickets then, I presume, for that one. Yeah, okay. All right, then. Finally, this week, next week, by the way, join us. We're talking about Coventry Hoodoos because, of course, Coventry have never won a league game at Deepdale. So here we go for the next attempt next weekend. So join us for that one. What's the earliest you've ever left a Preston North End game? Drop it into the chat below. Etienne, you don't strike me, especially as a journalist, of someone that would ever leave a game early. But have you ever been tempted?
Well, I've only ever really left 3 times. One was against Carlisle about 11 years ago. I missed the last-minute winner. I left against Reading 2 years ago early because I had to get to work, missed the last-minute winner. And then I left when we were getting battered 4-0 by Norwich for work. Like, they're the only 3 times that I've missed 2 last-minute winners. So I don't do it often.
What's the earliest you've ever left? Is that of interest?
The Norwich game. Ida's last goal, it probably was about 70 minutes.
Okay, all right. Can you beat 70 minutes, Harvey?
No, I can't, but I think my story is a bit more hurtful. It was I don't remember what year, but it was the Birmingham game at home, and it was either to go 2-1 up or 1-0 up, and I went because it was 0-0. The game was really, really boring, and then I think in the last minute it was like a Jordan Story header or something, and by that point I'd already gone, and honestly, it broke my heart, to be honest. I've never left since.
Okay. Ash, you strike me as the sort of person that might just stay regardless of what's going on, but I might have you wrong. Do share.
Mostly. There's 2 games that I remember leaving early for. The first one I left about 10 minutes early against Luton. I think it was about nearly 20 years ago, and it was 2-0. We got in the car outside, and then by the time our score came round on the radio, it was announced at 5-2 or 5-1. I think it was either 5-1 or 5-2, and I'd left at 2-0. I was fuming. But last season we were beating, I think it was Cardiff at home, and they scored like really late. I think we went down to 10 men. I think it was Brady went off or someone, and they scored really late. I said that's enough, got up to leave, and before I'd managed to actually leave the stand, they scored another and beat us 2-1. So yeah, I kind of know when to leave, but sometimes I will hang on.
Okay, fair enough. Can you beat any of those stories? Drop them into the chat below. Right, thank you very much, Len, for this week. We'll see you next week after this awful international break for some proper football, and we'll see you discussing the Coventry game. Cheers, Ash. Cheers, Harvey. Cheers, Etienne. And thank you for watching. Drop us a subscribe and a like. You know what to do. See you next week.